Hey guys, Dante here and welcome back to my channel, The Burgers Art. And welcome back to our Sunday night streaming. This is the third stream so far. And we are going to be continuing painting my original miniatures meant for Dungeons and Dragons, tabletop painting, or just any kind of, fun miniature painting. Now just give me a moment. I need to lower the volume for myself because I hear myself screaming in my ear. But the first time ever, I think we are actually on time. We are broadcasting properly to all the right channels and the audio seems to be working. Thank goodness. So, let's get right into it. Oh, as I get this little bit of a plastilina clay off the back of this. So yes. So much like the past two streams, as I said, we're doing paintings of my original miniatures. So far, we have done a purple with green goo and grass, purple with green goo and yellow eyes of my deholder, and I'm really happy with the way the purple, the light violet purples and the dark purples really pop, especially in photographs of this. So that came out nice. We've also done my grapple claw in blue. Is the crab claw built to house your figurine in the grasp of its hand. And in that same vein, we are going to be doing a really customized version of the grapple hand. So much like the grapple claw, the base of the hand is a 1-inch base, and it does stand on its own. It doesn't have a weird weight differential. The fingers are the weight of the fingers are actually countered by the shackle he has, and as just like with the grapple claw, the grapple hand also has a 1-inch base. But for today, since I've already done variations, such as this more action-based one where he's actually bursting out of a tiled floor and these tiled pieces are flying out. So there's a green with gray. Green with a grayish kind of shackle. And aside from that one, there was also this one in which I carved into it and broke pieces of it off. This is a much more, and this one is kept on a 1-inch base, so it's a 1-inch wrist on a typical 1-inch base. So this one I kept at the same scale. It doesn't have the 2-inch base like this does. And this is purple with blood scars. And like I said, a broken shackle with bone and gore. Just to kind of showcase what you can do with these. And to further showcase this guy, I've added a bunch of cool details. Give me one moment as I put some stuff away. Alright, so number one, I pulled out one of my 2-inch bases. This is just a base I casted from some miscellaneous toy base from years ago. So I have a whole surplus of these pretty much. And for this, I used some craft foam, some like really thin EVA foam, craft foam. And I did some tile work. So I just cut a piece out that was circle, did some, not tile work, but like brick work. Then I put 4 of them together to do a staircase. So this is actually going to be a statue. So it's like the characters walk in and they find this giant stone statue. And then where you would normally put your 1-inch figurine, I put this treasure chest, and I also sculpted a big old like bronze lock with like little you can't read it. There's something on it, but it's like little patterns that tell you there's something written on it. So it's kind of like this is actually a set piece. So, your little characters walk in, and in the center of the room, there's this giant stone hand. Maybe stone, maybe I'm painted bronze, I'm not sure yet. It's of this 3-fingered creature, shackled, and with a treasure chest sitting in his palm. That's not suspicious at all. Fun fact. This treasure chest is actually a resin copy. I have a little mold that I do little copies of an old chest from a board game when I was very little. It was like, I think it was 1990. Was it 1990? 1997. some of you might know it. It was a board game called It from the Pit, and it literally was this plastic board that was like a peninsula. It was raised upward and flat. In the center of it was this giant mechanical thing that made a ton of noise, which essentially meant it was meant to look like a swamp. And as your characters walked around trying to get to the treasure chest, a mechanized hand would come out and like periodically reach and try to grab your figurines, and it was just really cool. And I wish I still had it, but I actually still have the treasure chest though. And so I said, "Wow, let's use it for something." So here we go. So we know the basics, right? We have a brick. This probably gonna be brown because I want an actual treasure chest. I don't know if I want to keep the hand stone as well, or maybe try and make it like bronze of some type. I got some gold brown. I got some actual like silver. Silver never really works that well. You kind of have to coat something in white first to make it really look silver. So I'm not sure if I want to try and make the hand metallic. I don't know, my friends. I don't know. So let's start with Let's start with the basic base colors. Let's get this treasure chest painted out. As per usual, I'm recycling some old egg cartons for all my paint. In fact, let me cut this down because it's too big for my need right now. I don't need it this big. Yeah, it's more. Oh, you love that noise? That cutting into foam. Yeah, I'm sure you guys love that. Sorry. Anyway, as I was saying, yes, there is paper alternatives to your egg cartons. Of course, they always cost you a few extra bucks. But at the very least, if you do buy foam, use it for something interesting. Recycle it, please. Okay, so we're going to just go ahead with this nice golden brown. We're going to use that for our treasure chest. So the hand was primed, much like the other pieces I've done. But then I gave the entire thing, foam included, a spray with a little bit of workable fixative, just to give it a texture, that way everything holds onto it. Don't know how well it works. Let's see. Hey, it works. Yeah, I didn't, like, literally, if you happen to have, like, workable fixative that you use for, like, charcoal drawings, it actually works pretty well just to add a texture to any, like, solid resin pieces like this. So if you don't really care about an undercoat color, it's white, so what? You're gonna paint it anyway. Just something like workable fixative, and even cheaper to some extent. I remember back in college and high school, people said they would use hairspray as a type of fixative. Like if they couldn't, like, if there was no, not everyone lives in an area where there's like art stores nearby. Especially not certain areas of the Bronx. But apparently someone told me, oh yeah, if you need something to like hold down your charcoal drawings, just buy some hairspray. And with that being said, it will add a texture just enough for your paints to stick as well. Otherwise, they'd be sloshing back and forth on this little resin piece. Now I have some miscellaneous, supposedly copyright-free music from YouTube in the background, but it's a mixture of different artists, and each piece of this playlist says it's copyright-free. We'll see if that holds out, because every so often that won't be the case, and like you'll get a strike, not a strike, but a part of this video might get muted if that happens. So bear with me. We'll see if it works. If nothing gets flagged, I will add this to my list of safe to use music. Okay. So we got some flats there. Let's do the whole base black for just now.
Because your passion
Oh.
never runs out.
Yeah, it's a playlist, but once again, there's yeah, whatever. I'll just whatever. Talk about whatever color you want to talk about. I don't care about the advertisement in between. Well, just excuse me as I double check. My secondary devices. There we go. All right, back to it. Sorry about that. Yeah, I just want to get some black around this bottom rim. Give that give that a second to dry. Then I can always hold on to it later on. Yeah, so the brick, I think I'm just gonna do the brick. Just some gray colors. Did you hear how bad that stutter was? I'm hearing myself the same time you guys are hearing me, because I'm listening to Instagram in my ear. That way I could tell the volume difference. That way I could just see how loud everything is. So when I stutter, I hear the stutter. Okay. Move you back in here. So let's think. Do we want to try and make a metallic hand? Because what metallics would I use? I could mix some of the gold with some yellow, a golden brown with some yellow, and try and do like a bronzy-esque color, which probably won't come out. And I just wiped paint on my forehead. Lovely. The bronze might not work, or I could try and go just for silver, making like a big silver statue, and then just use a little white for highlights on it. Because I have this, which is silver spray paint, not spray paint, silver airbrush, but then I also have silver acrylic. Thinking about it. Okay, so you know what? Let me see how the silver looks on top of this gray. Let me try this guy first. Cause like I said, got shake it up real good, and I'm guessing if it was in the airbrush, it would look nicer. But whenever I try to paint with it, it tends to slosh around and not really. You don't really see it. Let's see. It's like it's too watery. So maybe if I mix a little bit of the actual acrylic, it's a little thicker. Yeah, the acrylic. That looks better. Now I heard there's apparently a type of it's rubbing buff, something like that, like something buff, where it's like a paint you can a lot of cosplayers use it. It's a paint you can actually use to do armor, and then it freaking like you can actually like shine it. Alright, so I'm mixing the acrylic with the airbrush. Since the airbrush is already kind of liquidy and watery, rather than add water, I'm basically mixing two paints together to get the liquid consistency I'm looking for. Okay, let's see how that works. We'll work on the fingers for now, get away from the brown of the chest, of the treasure chest. You know what? You know what, folks? What I'm gonna do is what I usually do sometimes. I'm going to go ahead. I'm gonna paint as much as I can white. I'm gonna give this a white base. That way the silver actually stands out. Come on. Let's use a better brush as well. By better, I mean like a stiffer brush. That way, that white gets on everything. There we go. Yeah, so we're just going to do a quick white. I'm not even going to try and get in all the details. Just enough to catch a few, you know. Just enough to cover it. A little bit of coverage. And then I'll go back in with the silver. And let's see how that looks. This music is very dramatic. I mean, the trick is if I'm painting this to be silver and I paint the ground to be gray, I have to make sure there's enough of a color difference between the two. That way the whole thing doesn't just look gray in general. Like it needs to be it needs to have a shine. Okay. I'm thinking maybe I should back out on the camera a bit because every time I move, I get out of frame. Hold on. So shake the camera. There we go. Shake, 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 senora, shake it all the time. Okay. By the way, I want to give a shout out to an individual by the name of Goblin King GRG. I believe that's what his name was. I'll double check in a future video just in case. Because as I was setting this up, I noticed that I was gifted a sub. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. So Goblin King GRG apparently gifted me a sub to another channel whose name right now I feel bad because I forget her channel name, but I have been tuning in. It's Goblin something. Basically, she has I guess it's a VTuber, and her animated character, her persona, is this little green goblin with long pointed ears. And I've been tuning into her channel once in a while. I will look up her name as well and give her a proper shout out after she needs it because I think she has a good following anyway. But yeah, so that was kind of cool. Okay, so we have a light white for the base. I noticed a little bit of the brown is washing off, so it worked a little bit, not perfect. The workable fixative, that is. So I'm gonna do, let's see. I have a sneeze and it's stuck. Ooh, that was too much yellow. Oh, I have a sneeze and it's stuck. Help me, people, help me. Okay, I'm just mixing a little bit of yellow and the gold brown. I wanna get a gold color on top of this lock. It's a little lock. It's literally just, I just took some clay, some epoxy clay, and I just did a little rectangle, pushed in a little pushed in a few circles in there. There we go. So we are going to be taking, what's good for the wet? This is good. Okay. I need a stiff brush, a stiffer brush. Stiff up the lip. Stiff up the lip. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to take a little bit of the black I have, a little bit of the white I have, and I'm just going to do somewhat very, very light dry brushing for the stone. There we go. Because the stone's already black from the fact that it's, oh, that's still wet. Damn. You still got some wet paint on the foam. There we go, that's better. So what I did with the foam, and it's a trick I learned from Odin Craft or Odin Makes, I think his channel is called. You take foam, and you do striations in it. It's like a X-Acto knife. Then you hit it with a hot, like a heating gun or a hairdryer, and it causes those to expand. So if you're doing really small brick detailing, hit it with the knife and then hit it with a heating tool, and it'll cause it to expand, and thereby it'll give you the small exposed pattern you're looking for without you having to over exaggerate the details. 'Cause remember, you're working on a small scale, so on a small scale, the gaps, the mortar I think it's called, between bricks shouldn't show that much anyway. There we go. So, per usual with these projects, going kind of loose, going kind of dirty, we're going to be doing washes anyway. But now that I've done that, now that I've done a bit of a dry brush, you can now see the little tiny slices that should make up the stone floor. Let me tilt it back for the camera. Yeah, so it's a stone floor with bricks and a little stone staircase. Alright. Okay, now let's see, what brush should I use for this? I know I have a smaller brush, might be more. Here we go. Nope, that's way too stiff. I'm looking for a squared off brush that's not too small. These are all too small, too small. It's either too big or too small. Oh, excuse my sniffling, people. I'm so sorry. I'll make this one work. So before I do any of the once again, any of the freaking yeah, that acrylic is way too thick. It's nice, but the acrylic is way too thick. I'm gonna have to stick with just the straight airbrush silver. Yes, as I was saying, I want to put the silver in before I try any washes. If I had a nice setup for it, I would just use the airbrush. in the end, this might end up looking more like marble, which is kind of cool as well. You know, white with like silver or grayish tones, as they say. Some of that brown is bleeding out though. Nothing, once again, nothing a few washes won't fix. So this particular hand, before I primed it, was green resin. What I really mean is that it was I was testing out tinting resins, and I was using greens, but the green just it didn't blend well, so it was like white with like spirals of green, and it just looked nasty, which is why I decided to use it for this project. Might as well, you know, save the project somehow. Yeah, this. Okay, so the weird thing about this, like I said, it probably works great in the airbrush, but when you paint with it, it's very like soapy. Lots of bubbles, lots of weird bubbles. And then when I try to use the acrylic, the actual acrylic, let's see how that looks. The acrylic is so freaking thick. So if you thin it out to use it better, you then lose the silver. Which is why I'm like, you have to paint everything white first and then use the acrylic. So in general, just the silver paint likes to fight me. But we are getting a kind of cool marbly effect. Marbly, is that a word? Marble-like? Let this dry for a few seconds. Blowing it a little bit. I mean, it's kind of there. It's definitely catching a shine, but there's lots of bleed from the treasure chest, so that has to be covered up as well. I feel there's gonna be something where I'm gonna be going. I feel like there's going to be something in which I'm going back and forth, adding layers of the silver, doing the wash, hitting it not so much with the silver as a dry brush, but using white as a dry brush, which is weird. It could be a flat white on the silver, but it will eventually get to that point. It will be shiny and silvery. Shiny and chrome. It's getting there. There's like, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there is definitely a shine on it that's not just because it's wet. So maybe with enough layers, it will correct itself. Give that a few seconds. So as that goes, so once again, going to be continuing this hopefully as a constant schedule every Sunday, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Here as well as YouTube and Picardo. Obviously, all these videos will get saved permanently on YouTube. They'll be on Twitch. When I say here, I'm talking about Twitch because I'm primarily using it on Twitch. Sorry. Twitch, of course, does is like what 14-day thing because that's how I have it set. And Picardo, I think it's just day of. You miss it, you miss it. But all of the images, afterwards, I take photographs of them and I stick them on Instagram, DeviantArt, and Twitter. Excuse me. And across the board, that's all underneath the name The Burgos Art. Next week, I will not be doing miniatures. I think I've done a few good miniatures so far, so I don't want to keep burning through these. So I don't know what I'll do next week. Maybe it will be, once again, traditional drawing right here. Or maybe I'll do some digital drawing. I got some artwork I could always ink and work on. But you will find me doing artwork every week, Sunday at 8 p.m. Aside from that, I'm thinking of doing some game stuff in between. Maybe on a Tuesday or a Thursday, whatever. I'll do some game artwork, usually around 8 o'clock as well. And, you know, because I want to plug, the grapple claw and the deholder are on my Etsy page. Once again, the Burgers Art. I need to take stock of how many of these grapple hands I have, and they too will be on my Etsy page in due time. Along with a bunch of old artwork I have. So if you're looking for like some ink and marker drawings, I got a bunch of drawings, video game related, Mario, Cuphead. A few of those are up as well. And if you have suggestions of things you want to see me draw, post it somewhere. Put it on Twitter, put it on Instagram, wherever. Let me know. I like interaction. I like the interaction, people. Alright, so let's see. It is slowly drying. I don't want to do the wash yet. Might want to do a little bit more, a few more layers of silver. Let's see if we could use the thicker acrylic to get rid of. There we go. Let's use a thicker acrylic to cover up the brown from this treasure chest that bled downward. Yeah, it's weird. Like, it's so gooey. It doesn't spread like normal acrylic paint. Like, I'm sorry. I bought it hoping it would like work like regular acrylic paint, and it just has a more of a gooiness to it, and it just doesn't spread as well. And it's not. I don't think it's the brand. I think it's the actual like. I think it's the actual this paint itself trying to have a shimmer, and it's just not the same formula they use for like their basic reds and greens. You know, the flat color paints. Yeah, right now, like I said, right now I'm just using the acrylic paint. I'm kind of blobbing it in there to cover up all the areas where it got streaky from just the airbrush paint. So I'm going back and forth. And I'm sure there's someone out there who's like, buy model paints, you freaking heathen. You heathen, you horrible man. Just buy model paints. And like I said before, aside from going online, searching model paints, and all I get are testers, model paints, acrylic, freaking, not even acrylic, enamel paints. There's like no one that just sells straight up model paints unless you go strictly to a model store. So if you know a brand that you think works very well, kind of like airbrush, something more water based, or something that just flows better, let me know what brands you use. Yeah, that's looking like okay. Now we're starting to come together. Now we're starting to dry. I'm just layering on this acrylic paint on top of the white, and just spreading it. Let it dry. One good thing about acrylic paint, much like airbrush, it dries really quickly. You know, we're not working with oil paints here, people. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should like dedicate a few weeks straight to oil painting, but then I'll probably go nuts. I probably wouldn't want to wait until every Sunday, so maybe I'll do like a back-to-back day. One day I'll choose a nice topic and just do like an almost back-to-back video stream, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, etc. Of some oil painting. I'm getting a notification on my old laptop. Let me close that. I do not want to update right now. Please don't do that. Now I'm using an old laptop just as a secondary device to make sure I can see the chat nice and clearly. See, it's a weird thing. Like, so it's silver. So I'm thinking, would I still do the wet brush, let it all soak into all the cracks? Because, certain metals degrade differently. Statue of Liberty wasn't always green. So I wonder how that looks. I think I should anyway, just to get, because dirt builds up even on precious metals like gold. Dirt will still build up in the cracks. So I think I will still, of course, do the here we go, my wet brush, and then I'll once again go in there with silver and just do some dry brush silver with the acrylic, something thicker. It's thick, boy. And I'm touching the bottom so much, the edge of the plastic, like this paint that's coming off. Look at that. Yeah. Once again, should have primed it. Just didn't prime it though. But I'll give it a few coats of black. Then I'll probably spray it with something too. Make sure the paint doesn't spread. And I just put my hand into a blotch of white paint. Where is it? There it is. Couldn't even see it. It was a blotch of white paint on the white paper. I just rested my hand right into it. Yo, where is everybody? I think all my friends are like, well, Dante's gonna log on, and then it's gonna take him half an hour to actually get things in order. So we'll join him around like 8:40. Usually there's like 2 or 3 people who are showing up here. Okay. Let's check my streams. That's still good. I think Picardo froze on us, I believe. Now we're good. Okay. So I'm thinking, it probably will be straightforward. Just once again, just keeping this gray on black base for the brick, silver, brown. Like, it's pretty straightforward in terms of coloring right now. I'm not going too crazy. I'm just tapping the silvers to see. I'm tapping the hand to see how much the silver dries before I try to ruin it with the wash. Alright, give me a second, guys. Just checking notifications. What's going on? Oh, that's what it was. Sorry, got a weird notification on my phone. I was wondering what it was. I have to check, because I'm still using my phone for the camera. I have to check prices for webcams to see if they've improved. And then I'll, of course, have to search for a better, what webcam really works. The camera works fine for now, but it's not perfect, people. It's not. But man, after COVID hit and everyone, like when everyone evacuated to the internet because they didn't want to, talk to anyone, even people who, heck, people who were doing it even before that. I was doing social distancing before was cool. Like, freaking webcams, the price of webcams shot up because everyone was buying them. I tried to change the chat, by the way. I want to have a theme. So the chat originally was word bubbles with black text. So I changed the layout to just be basic white text on what is right now a blue background. Hopefully that makes it easy to see on other channels. Just in general, like if you're on YouTube or on Twitch or whatever, and you want to see older chats. It's all right there in the video. Okay. Still a little wet. I don't know if I want to do that wash. Still a little wet, people. I mean, it'll dry in a few minutes because it's freaking acrylic. Shake it up. Wait, here it is. Just a rag to catch the majority of it. The majority. Alright. The horror. The horror. Gotta get in between those digits. You know, like, you ever got a paper cut right there between the digits? Ugh. It's horrible, man. Okay. That, ooh, hear that music? Do 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 do. I like the music. Yeah, I like this playlist. Hope, like I said, if as long as it doesn't get flagged by YouTube or Twitch, I'll probably use it again. Right, so we have a wet brush. You can see in the camera. I know it's from the top view solely from the top view. In fact, you know what? Let's do a little bit of this. There you go. Much better. So you can see very light, very dark and shadowy, I know. But as it dries, let me go on this side where the light's actually coming from. As it dries, or rather as the water begins to seep downward, the silver is popping out. So it does work. You just gotta really like force it. You gotta like paint the silver and get the dark tones, that way the silver really looks prominent against it. I'm thinking now I'm looking at it in person. I'm thinking maybe I should have gone dark. Well, maybe I shouldn't have done the golden brown for the chest. Maybe I should have just done brown and then used the gold brown for the highlights. Because it does look a bit light. I mean, once again, as the and I just stuck this into the blob of white paint again. As per usual, we're gonna let that wet brush really soak in there. And once it really soaks in there, we'll see how. But then, we'll work the shadows, work the details. Dark wet brush, light dry brush. Yeah, this looks man, with the silver, I don't know how well you can see it, but like especially right here and right here, like the inside of the fingers, that silver with the black sinking into it, it looks like old damaged metal. Like at one point this was like a really clean like Roman-esque but bronze statue. I'll have to wipe some of this off. See, here it was still a little. Yeah, the wet brush is actually sinking into the paint. There we go. Anyway, like those old like statues that after a while they just naturally begin to degrade, with like holes in them and little rusty bits. Yeah, this will look good. As usual, just like with any artist, I doubt myself the entire process. Ah, it looks horrible. It looks horrible. And then by the time you're done, not bad. I could live with it. Okay, I'm just going to. Would that work? Come on. Just trying to do a little clay base right here, just to have it at an angle for a minute. There we go. Just at an angle. I'm gonna get something to drink. Be back in 2 seconds. Oh, much better. You gotta stay hydrated, people. Because of your passion. Freaking advertisements.
That does the same. In over 100 years, we've never missed a payment. Guaranteed monthly income for life when you retire.
Oh, fun fact. Side note, once again, as this dries. Some of you have probably seen me working on this doll figurine thing for the past like freaking 3 years. Just every so often I'll add something to it, the head pops off. I finally bought fabric because I want her to have a skirt. So I finally went ahead and bought the actual purple fabric to give her her fabric skirt. And then once the skirt is on, I'll probably have to repaint the purple color of the hat to match. But yes, she's meant to be like a mascot character of some type. Based on one of my card games. She's one of the characters in a card game. So she's just meant to be like a little mascot character that stands next to the game. With that being said, man, like, I love the model of this. This was like one of the many interpretations of like the DC characters as like more friendly for kids. So this was like originally like a Poison Ivy, but like in high school, kind of high school Poison Ivy. And that particular line, I don't know what it's called. It's not DC Girls, DC Nation. I don't know what it's called. That particular line of figurines had really nice like basic, like this basic anatomy for the dolls. Like for whatever the action figures, whatever you want to call them. So I wanted to buy a bunch because they were good for customizing. But when I bought her for super cheap, like $5, I realized like the materials are just like really soft rubbery plastic, and yeah, so she's been fighting me every step of the way, in terms of getting the paint on her, in terms of making it stay on her. But yeah, anyway, I finally bought the material to finish that, and once I finished it, I'll just stick it on a shelf and be done with it. I'm blowing on this like it's a freaking Nintendo cartridge. Part of me kind of wants to, once I'm all done with the paint, part of me kind of wants to put a little bit like green moss or green grass like among the brick. I don't know, I just really want to. Just a little bit there, just a little bit of a natural element that just creeped into it. I started at 8 o'clock, and this is already almost 9, and this is all we've done so far. It's because the paints are not drying as fast as they should. Shame on you. Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. I'm gonna, when I get a chance, I will pump this into a freaking airbrush and see what it takes in the airbrush. And this is just, I don't know anymore with this. It is iridescent silver. That's the actual acrylic. From Utrecht. And or Black, whatever you want to call it. Acrylic colors, no, Artistic Colors Series 3. Heavy body. That's probably what it means. When it says heavy body, it probably means like it's really goopy. Honey Goblin. There we go. Sorry. It just hit me. I was gifted a 1-month sub to Honey Goblin. And mind you, I only tuned in once or twice. And I think I commented once in a avalanche of comments anyway, but someone apparently saw my channel and was like, I want to gift you a sub. And I want to say thank you very, very much for that. That was cool. And yeah, with that being said, I guess I'll watch more of Honey_Goblin and see what she does. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of yellow. This watery ass yellow. And see if I could get... Is that dry enough? Just about dry enough. Just want to do a little bit of dry brush on that. It's not fully dry brush yet. I mean, it's not fully dry. It's not fully dry yet for the dry brush. There you go. Where's everybody, man? Man, I know it's a holiday weekend. But it's, it's freaking 9 o'clock at night. What are you doing? Hanging out with your family? It's weird. I use Restreamable, and in Restreamable you set the title, and for some reason it does not reset for me. It keeps saying painting the beholder. It does not want to say what the actual name of the title is. I can always correct it afterwards, but during the stream, you want that to be correct. I don't know. That's the one thing so far that's bugging me about Restreamable. Like, why do you even ask me to put in a title if you don't upload that title to the channels I'm on? Anyway, first world problems. Am I right, people? First world problems. Okay. Okay. Dab of white with the golden brown. Give me a pale brown. Maybe add some yellow in there. There we go. That's better. That looks more like wood. Yeah, this music definitely fits like the you've walked into the chamber and you see the treasure chest at the end of your end of journey kind of thing. Now I noticed on this chest there are little details of, well, I guess are meant to be metal pieces. So I'm gonna dip some yellow, just straightforward yellow, to highlight those. I love how you go from freaking epic music to an advertisement about how your bathroom stinks. Thanks a lot, YouTube. There we go. I might do another wash on the, very carefully, like a small wash on the chest later on. Yeah, this what was that noise? What just happened to my music? Video pause. Why do you pause? There you go. What is that noise? I'm hitting something that's making a weird noise. Oh, there it is. Sorry about that. It's like there's like tape sticking beneath. It's like art tape sticking beneath my table, and I'm scraping against it every time I turn around. So as I was saying, I don't know if it's the paint, the freaking gold, I mean the silver paint, but yeah, our wash is not drying. What we're gonna do, take a lot of water, a little bit of brown, lots of water, just a pinch of brown, more water. There we go. I'm just putting some black and brown wash on the treasure chest. Just very light in the chest. I don't want it to bleed everywhere. Just on the chest to get it in there. There we go. I feel better with that now because it was just way too light. And I will have to do. I was washing my brush in the wash as opposed to the water. There you go. And then we'll go back and actually do another We'll do another pass of more of a brownish dry brush. Okay, that pale golden brown doesn't do it. It just makes it look white, like white wood. I'm refreshing my stream, my Twitch stream, so I can see how's it going, how's it looking. Yeah, wow, man, this that silver with the black wash, it's a no bueno at all, man. Might be stuck for a little bit. I don't want to be stuck here just waiting for this damn thing to dry out. And I don't want to pat it down with a napkin because if you pat it down too much, it might absorb it from between the between the cracks, between the cracks, and that'll just undo everything. Let me see. What do we have? Yeah, I have to tap it down and just like force it to start drying quicker. Yeah, it's definitely picking up some of that silver. Yeah, look at that. Freaking, that silver is actually just not, it's so, what's it again? Heavy body, they call it. Heavy body. It does not want to dry. I'm gonna try and do very carefully. I need a small brush for this. I need something pointed. I'm gonna see if I could highlight the edges of this treasure chest in the yellow. Because I wanted to have like a, like the actual boxes like this had metal rims. Just enough to like make it pop because it is. Otherwise, it's just this big shape of like brown with lines on it. All right, let me raise that up a little bit. Hello, testing audio. Hello. There we go. I like that. I like this better. Just adding a little. I mean. Not the cleanest, because a little bit still wet, that's fine. I'm just taking some plain old yellow, letting it get a little dirty, letting it get into the mix, let it get a little dirty. And I'm just doing the edges of the actual treasure chest. How's our camera battery looking like? Should be fine. Yeah, 75. 75! It's perfect. Nice dirty treasure chest. What's inside? You don't know? It's like a mystery prize. What movie is it? Where like, it's some clip of an Asian guy screaming, "Stupid! You're stupid!" Because like she chooses like the mystery prize and gets nothing. Big bucks, no whammies, right? Don't take the risk. You gotta take that risk. Says the man who's never been on a game show in his life. Yeah, it is not definitely painting out of the lines, but it does make a difference. It makes the treasure chest look a lot better like that. I just heard my own audio come back to me. Why did that sound so deep? I said but and that comes out deep. When I'm talking regularly, nothing. Okay, mixing the brown with the gold and brown. Dark brown with gold and brown. Let's see. That looks better. Yeah. Just mixing a bit of the golden brown instead, and I'm literally just using a toothpick to soak in some of the wash. Yeah. I mean, I gotta clean it up a little bit, but gotta clean the edges a little bit here and there, but that's still a lot better. Once it dries up, I'll literally paint in some brown to clean up the yellow. So I'm thinking the more wishy-washy of the airbrush silver with the thickness of the white airbrush. Oh, of course a giant glob came out instead. Let's see. No, that's no good at all. It's still brown in that. Get off, get off, get off. Okay, so going to try dry brushing silver. I have no idea how that's going to work. We're dry brushing, attempting to dry brush white and silver onto what we have so far. Let's get some of the more thicker acrylic as well. Heavy body does he say? Heavy body. Yep, that looks better.
At Panera, we make dinner easy.
Tell me, YouTube, tell me about Panera Bread. A place I have never been to.
Cheese for dinner tonight with delivery or pickup only at Panera.
It does look better. Like I'm fighting the urge to add white because white will flatten it as opposed to just the silver. Like, okay, let's see. As I said, I want to go back in with a little bit of the brown. Just straightforward, painting it in. Then I can always clean up the cut, clean up the edges regarding the gold. Just trying to get the back of this chest, which is kind of hard because the hands are in the way. There we go. Nice. I saw that someone popped in and then popped out. Whoever you were, come back! You coward, come back and watch me ramble as I paint awkwardly on camera. That does look nicer. Alright, so silver is still giving me an issue, but I think once it all dries, it should actually look pretty good. What I do need to do is that there's a pool of mixed paint right where the chest meets the palm. So just dry my brush off right now, get my hand dirty by accident, and just kind of get in here. Try to clean that out. Or maybe just add wash in there, let it blacken that area. Come here. Yeah, much better. Like, don't be afraid to let that wash sink in there. Yeah, this blacken the whole front area right there. So now I'm adding wash to try and freaking fix a few things. Alright, let's see. 9:18. Longer than I expected for this piece. But like I said, the paints are acting funny with us. They're kind of fighting us as we go along. But we have a dirty but fixed. But you know, we could always go in there and clean it up. Treasure chest. Me, in fact, add a little bit of brown. Just once again mixing golden brown with the dark brown I have. I really should have given us a coat of dark brown instead of the golden brown. Anyway, we have the treasure chest with highlights of gold, kind of like rusted into the wood. That's the word we're going to use, rusted. It's not that it's dirty or that I couldn't paint in a straight line, but it's rusted. The gold is rusted into everything. Makes so much more sense. The wash did work well into getting into all the fine details of this silver hand, but I really, really need to let this dry before I like do a good silver dry brush. And I think the silver, you can't really do a dry brush with this, it's too watery. You have to kind of do a dry brush with this because it's so gooky and so like heavy, so you might have to wait for it to dry heavier to add this to it. And then once again we'll go, since I'm touching the base so much, the black on the base is coming off. So I'm going to just do a little coat of black on the base as well, a little paint around the edge. You know what? I have an idea. So I'm debating if I should just, right? Basically, once I paint the base, I can't really touch it anymore. I just have to sit there. So I'm debating if I should just like do the base and leave it and let it be and call it a day, right? I don't know how much more silver I could really get on this with dry brush. I could keep trying, but it's a fight. Let's try one more little pass let's use the acrylic paint. Let's try one more pass on like the palm right here and see if we could get just a pinch more for dry brushing. And then I'm gonna color the base black. I'm gonna cheat and use that same paint to maybe add a little bit of moss on the edge. So. Let's add heavy silver to the tip of the nails. Right now it's kind of less of a dry brush and I'm just actually painting it right on. Slight globules? I can't say it correctly. There is a word. That's a word. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just kind of right now painted it right onto it. Screw the dry brushing, just actually like pick and choose your highlights. Yeah. Gonna call it. That's gonna be it right there. Okay. Now, give me a second. I'll be back in just a moment. Just gotta grab something from my room. I definitely want to add a little bit of the cool grass effect. Okay, okay. So rather than glue, like I said, rather than glue, we're going to take some of some black paint. I'm actually going to just oh, hold on. There we go, right there, just like that. Doing this very loosey-goosey. I'm trying so hard not to get it onto the hand itself. Then again, that would look kind of cool, I guess. I'm thinking, nah, it makes more sense if it's on the stone. If it's not, it wouldn't really make sense the moss growing on like a steel statue. I know everyone says like, technically moss apparently only grows on one side or something. So we're gonna call this moss and just leave it on one side. Right there. Otherwise, I'll just keep adding it all over the place. Okay, that's a good brush. I'll use this one instead. Hand is relatively clean. Gonna hold it very gently. And we're just gonna add that black line once again. Hopefully with enough layers, it won't peel off as easily. I think, yep, get that. All right. How's that for the shot? Could definitely still use a little bit of cleanup here and there. But I think for the most part we are done. I want to say for the most part we're done. Because I could go back and forth on this forever and ever and ever and ever. There we go. Just want to kind of add a bit more yellow to the But yeah, so this is our silver statued hand, and it is holding a suspicious looking treasure chest on top of a stone staircase with a little bit of moss growing on it. Get a back shot. I think once it's all like fully dries, the silver should pop a bit more. And who knows? Maybe I'll go back and really tighten up the colors once everything stops running. Let's see if I get closer to the camera. Let me fix my camera that way I can see what I'm doing live as opposed to waiting for the delay on Twitch or whatever. Come on, show me the goodness. There we go. Bring it nice and close. There we go. Now I can see what I'm doing. Yep, there it is. There. I need a white background, for God's sake. Oy. So there is our treasure chest sitting on top, like I said, of a silver hand with moss and grass and things going around it. Not very clean, to be honest. Not the best work I've done. But you know, it's all learning experience. That's why we're here, to have fun. To have fun, to paint, and to talk bullshit. Oop, I just tapped the mic, sorry about that. So, I want to say that is it. That is it. Let me cleanse the battlefield. Let me clean the battlefield for a minute. There we go. Much better. Much better. Okay. So here are the results of the first 3 weeks worth of streaming. Come on, zoom in, camera, zoom in for me. There we go. That is much better. There we go. You have your deholder, your your grapple claw, and your grapple hand. Treasure chest included. Once again, hand sculpted pieces, molded and casted and replicated by hand as well, by yours truly. And examples of how you could customize them, and examples of how you could color them in different ways. And yeah, this was... Did I zoom in quickly? No. That is weird. I am zoomed in on my webcam, but not zoomed in on the main feed. That is so odd. Huh. Oh, I know why. I am not zoomed in on my webcam. Because I'm a fool and a half. Sorry about that. I went to click my webcam on my phone, and instead it zoomed in on my my regular phone camera. I gotta turn that off. Anyway, you guys can still see it. You guys can still see it. I could just do this. Sorry, the YouTube advertisement caught my attention. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way these came out. Always room for improvement, but I am still happy with them. And I think I'm going to call it there. It is 9:30. It is 9:30, and therefore I've been doing this for about an hour and a half now. Rambling by myself, because man, no one showed up. I am depressed. But hey, if you're watching this in the future, thank you for dropping by. You make me less depressed when I see the view count in the future, you know? Speaking of the future, You know how it goes. Once again, guys, I am Dante. Like, favorite, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I will see you in the future. Later.